Hello everybody and welcome to week 35's week in review here on my channel of teaching myself how to draw. As you can see, I'm using a different brush this week and my early poses are really kind of scribbly and sketchy because of it. This brush is, here I'll show you really quick. It's a lot darker just by default than the previous brush which I was using, which was this one. So I could get like really faint. It might not look that different actually. But I feel like I could be a lot more faint with this brush as opposed to this new one where it kind of bunches up and overlaps. It gets pretty dark pretty quick. So I feel like I can't sketch things out. So you can see me trying to sketch things out in these initial ones, hey? But it wasn't really working. I had to kind of get back into the swing of kind of the way I used to draw poses, which I actually really like. So you could see me falling more into the construction than I kind of did a few months ago. If we go to the next day here, you could see me really putting these figures together the way I used to. Because I feel like somewhere along the line, using that previous brush, I like this one. I started kind of following the contour a little too much. Oh, we got the crab pose here, of course. But stuff like this, you know, drawing like this where it's just like a mannequin, putting the parts together. I find it a lot more fun and a lot more kind of the way I like to build figures. And this brush kind of helped me return to that a little bit. I kind of lost it again today, but like some of these simple ones, right, look really nice, I think because of it. I don't know, I'm really liking this new brush. I'm also using it for my not just pose practice, right? We'll get to that a little later. You can see I'm still kind of struggling with these faster ones. Still doing a lot of like weird random lines. But then once I get into like the 3 and the 5 minutes, it's much more clean. Much more tidy, you know, everything is, it's still a little sketchy and like messy inside, lots of little scratches here and there, but I don't know, it just looks more clean. Like I think this day looks really good altogether, right? Like this one, there's a good flow along here as well. I don't know, I like this brush. It's hard to say if it's the brush that's doing it or if it's something else, I don't know. But either way, I like the brush. That's really all I have to say about the figures this week. Still kind of struggling in the same places here and there with the belly area. Still a little confused at how to do that. But for the most part, I'm happy with it. So that's my poses for the week. Next, we'll look at what I drew. So I've still been doing a lot of Hololive fan art because it's Holo October here. So moving forward, let me change my brush color actually. I'll go green. I did Pekora here on the 10th. So I'm using the month of October as a way to, how would I say, kind of force myself to, because when I draw fan art, I want it to be of a certain level, you know, of quality. So I'm using this month as a way to really force myself to spend more time on these daily color roughs that I do. I think these hands look really nice, eh? The hair looks good too. The hair was really fun. Because usually I'll just kind of like, I won't be too into the daily color rough stuff that I do, but these ones are more, because it's fan art, I feel like a little more of an obligation to do a good job. So I'm usually putting in like another hour or so and taking it a little more seriously, and I think the results are quite nice. So that was day 1 here on Tuesday or whatever it was. The next day I did this one, which I don't really like exactly how this one turned out. I spent a little too long on a few parts. I got held up on like the face. It was kind of difficult of an angle. But this is Amelia peeking through. I wanted to do like a film noir thing. I was thinking black and white, but I decided to do it in color. And I put on this cool like VHS effect, I don't know. I just thought it looked neat. But I basically copied like a scene from, I don't even remember the name of the movie. I just googled film noir and it was like one of the first ones that came up. So I drew that. This was pretty fun. Again, I think the hands are looking nice. They took me forever, but I think they're fine. The face was really hard though, and like the shadows, the lighting, I couldn't really figure out what to do. So I kind of struggled with this one. This was like the hard part of the week, I think. Everything else I'm pretty happy with. This one was like, you know, whatever. It could be worse. I like the gun too. I think it looked okay. Or it came out looking okay, right? Whatever. Next one I did Okayu here. What was the prompt for this? Pajamas, I think? I don't know. I like how this one turned out too. This one I started doing the tracing over the line art with different colors. So you can see I did like a kind of a dark, kind of bluish green for the clothing, and then I went over the skin with this kind of red, and then like a purple for the hair, just to kind of blend things together a bit. I'm having a lot of fun with these backgrounds too. Usually I don't really know what to do with the backgrounds, but again, this is a good opportunity for me to, using Hollow October and all this like fan art stuff, it's like I feel like I've already leveled up, and I'm only like halfway through the month, right? So it's pretty cool. I don't know, I think this one turned out pretty good. I'm getting better at these figures too. Like all this time drawing figures, you know, this stuff, it really helped me. Like I put together this figure, and like some of the other ones this week too, I'm able to build the figure, like the actual pose, really quick, and then I can kind of put clothing on top of it. I'm still struggling with the clothes, you could see it. Like I think I spent like maybe 45 minutes just on these sleeves. I think they're fine, I guess. The hair is still really tough too. There are a lot of things I still struggle with, but the figure isn't really one of them. I'm pretty confident in, at least sometimes, you know, if it's something simple, I can kind of put it together nicely. So that was that one. Next up, I did this one was all in one brush. I can't remember which one I did. This one, the design pencil is what it's called. I used this pencil here for everything. Even I think I used it as an eraser in some parts too. But that's this one here. This is IMA. I don't remember the prompt. I honestly can't remember the prompts each week, but it doesn't really matter, eh? This one was a lot of fun. I'm surprised again at how quickly it came together. Like all of these are about, I think they're like 3 hours each, which is cool. Usually it takes me like maybe 2 sessions to get to kind of this kind of a stage with the drawing. So I feel like I'm speeding up, you know. It's cool to see. I think these hands were a little weird. I couldn't really figure out a nice pose for them, so I went with like a weird clap. It wasn't my initial idea, so it feels a little out of place, but I don't think it really matters. Clothing again, I tried to keep really simple. Just doing like the big shapes. Again, these sleeves, I usually don't like how I do the openings of sleeves. It just looks too conical and like not like real clothing. I still haven't thought about how to do that. So someday soon maybe I'll focus on clothing and try and figure that out. Yeah, that one was fun. I decided to make it red for some reason. I don't remember why. Next one I did Mume here. This is actually my submission for this week's prompt, which we'll get to in a minute for the weekly showcase here. But I don't know, this one makes me laugh. I couldn't find a good brush for this fire, hey? I couldn't figure out how to do the fire, but I think it looks fine. I used some random cloud brush that I had. But I think the figure looks really good. Again, this figure, it took me like, I don't know, maybe like 20 minutes. I feel like I had the pose down, like immediately. And then it was just a matter of putting clothing on. There's a lot of detail in here that I was surprised that I didn't really get held up on. Like I made good progress all through the whole time with this one. I didn't really get held up anywhere. Did I? I don't think I did. Maybe on the boots. The boots they're fine, you know. Shoes are always difficult for me. But like I feel like like the pacing that I took with this one was pretty quick. I'm just looking it over, seeing if there was, I think maybe the background I was trying different things. I couldn't really figure out how to get the effects that I wanted, so I was like, I don't know, whatever. I'll just leave it kind of plain. It turns out fine, right? So this is my submission for the prompt here. This is Mume, an average day for Mume. And then last but not least, I did this one yesterday. Did this Toa here. This one, I'm happy with everything except basically the jacket. I just threw it together really quick. You know, the clothing here. I couldn't really think of how these folds would look. But everything else I'm pretty happy with. Like these shoes, I think turned out pretty good. Right? And again, these lines are really messy. I'm not like trying to make these super clean. Because again, they are kind of rough sketches in the end. Because I'm doing one every day, right? I can't really be bothered spending another hour to clean up the line art, right? So, but I kind of like the messy look, especially with this brush. Because again, I've been using that new brush that I used for this pose practice with each of these drawings. Pretty much from start to finish. I'll use this brush, just like a flat brush for coloring, laying out like some of this shadows and stuff. And like I'll use like another brush, this one here, which is basically the same thing, but it has a bit of taper. But aside from that, it's all just this new brush that I'm using, this one, which is really cool. It's kind of smeary. I'm still working on it. There's some, you probably can't even see that, it's too green, eh? There's some more changes I want to do to it. I think the hat turned out good too, eh? So, yeah. So yeah, there you go. That's my week in review. Is there anything else I need to say? I guess not. I'm enjoying Hollow October. So I'm going to continue on. How many more weeks is it? It's like 2 more weeks. So that'll be fun. I'm going to keep going. I'm using it to level up, right? So I already feel like I've leveled up quite a bit. Whew, maybe I should draw more fan art, I guess, eh? That's what the moral of this month is. So yeah, there's my week in review. And I'll be back next week with another week in review. Yay, cut.